I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that
She's
is
not going to be
yeah.
saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
And what are you looking for in the next man?
Pardon?
What are you looking for in a man now to wear this cologne?
I'm not looking for a man. Let's start there.
When you're a girl boss, there's absolutely no time for personal life. It's work, sleep, make money.
Reality is that the cartoon was made 85 years ago. It's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's the proactive one, and she's the one who set the terms, is what makes it so relevant to where we are today.
I've got to tell you, I have felt guilty about not being or wanting to be that girl. The way we interpret girl boss is a woman who is killing it at doing her 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. job, maybe as a lawyer, CEO, or astronaut. She's on TikTok saying something like busy building an empire. She is loyal to her work, a leader, a successful businesswoman. And modern feminists would say she is goals. We've got a lot of names for ourselves in the form of hashtags, obviously.
Hashtag girl boss, hashtag boss babe, hashtag business babe, hashtag women in business, hashtag women entrepreneurs, hashtag female founders.
You get it. When I look at myself, I don't see a boss girl. I don't see a woman in business. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with just being, not striving to get that six-figure job or trying to be an alpha female. However, I find it so amazing that so many women are making their mark in the world that is typically run by men. I love that we celebrate each other's accomplishments and want more for ourselves. But can we also want to be hopeless romantics, dream of finding a prince and being whisked away in a pumpkin carriage? Does it always have to be one or the other? Are women not allowed to dream of getting married and being stay-at-home moms anymore? One of my favorite Disney movies is Cinderella and Snow White. When I tell other modern feminists this, I am met with eye rolls and disgust, as if people are thinking, why do you like that terrible fairy tale movie? They did a disservice to women by teaching them the wrong lesson. Females are weak and helpless and need to be rescued by a handsome prince. These reactions show their disgust with not wanting to be that girl. The whole, I'm not like other girls. And they are triggered when they see a tiara, someone wearing pink, or a woman who takes the traditional route of getting married and being a stay-at-home mom. And if you are the girl who speaks soft, is kind, sees the good in others, and dreams of finding your Prince Charming, you are seen as weak. People will walk all over you. But is there power in kindness? Is it okay to have the goal of finding true love? These types of responses just goes to show how fearful women are of being perceived as weak. So our solution: create stories of girls with superpowers, rebellious princesses, a Barbie who can be and do anything, and warrior princesses. If you were born in the 90s or even the early 2000s, you grew up watching Cheetah Girls. I'm sure we all listened to the song Cinderella. You know that song that goes, I don't want to be like Cinderella, sitting in a dark, cold, dusty cellar, waiting for somebody to come and set me free. I'd rather rescue myself. But what about the girls who want to be rescued? Who dream that one day their prince will come? Oh no, that's not allowed, they say. You need to be a girl boss. You need your own money and career. Girl power.
You are a traditional woman who's got no pictures on Instagram, who isn't going out all day, every day, who isn't sleeping around and isn't getting lots of surgery. There's no reward in that. You will never find a date. There's no reward in being a traditional good woman anymore.
But what if Snow White and Cinderella did have a message for us? What if we can learn something from these 17th century Disney novels? Let's start off with Snow White, since that seems to be the current topic surrounding the new movie coming out in 2024. Walt Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was released as the first feature-length animated film in 1937, and decades later it's still a cultural touchstone. In my opinion, Snow White was the ultimate girl boss. She was a survivor of childhood abuse from her evil stepmother. She survived multiple assassination attempts. She swallowed all of this and ran away to an unknown forest to save herself and build a life after being traumatized for years. She ran her own household with 7 dwarfs, created a clean home, and became the leader of her household. And again, despite all of this, she never gave up on true love. She was thoughtful, kind, generous, strong, and never losing herself in the cruel world around her. Snow White was a tale about resilience for me, and never giving up on the life you desire, regardless of your current circumstances. She saved her own life multiple times before being saved by any man. Now let's take a look at Cinderella. Cinderella, or also known as the Little Glass Slipper, was written in the 17th century. They also made a Cinderella movie with Brandy and Whitney Houston. I first watched that movie when my friend Pauline bought it for me when I was 10 years old. I remember sitting back and watching Cinderella being treated so terribly by her stepmother, yet was always so kind and loving. Despite of what was happening around her, she still stayed true to herself. I wanted to be the girl who was kind. I wanted to sit in my own little corner by the fire and feel my feelings. I wanted my fairy godmother to appear, who would love me, validate me, and grant me a beautiful ball gown with glass slippers, whisk me away to the ball in a pumpkin carriage. Wishful thinking, right? Instead, I grew up. I went off to college in New York. I graduated and I got into the 9-to-5 rat race, and my life started to feel less like a fairy tale. It started to feel as if there was nothing left to believe in.
Nonsense, child. If you'd lost all your faith, I couldn't be here.
You're right, fairy godmother. It had never occurred to me that the Cinderella story could have an empowering message of belief and manifestation. Her life was pretty bad, just like Snow White. She had her evil stepmother and stepsisters with that little cat Lucifer, and she was forced to be a servant and slept in the attic or next to her fireplace in the kitchen. But with all this misfortune she had, she still believed. She still believed in love. She escaped to another reality. She didn't dwell on the crappiness of her situation nor the way her stepfamily treated her. She dreamed of a life of adventure. She believed that she would soon find her prince. During this time period, when Cinderella and Snow White first appeared, there were not a lot of options for women. We didn't have financial freedom. We couldn't own property or have a career as a CEO, pop star, shop owner, lawyer, or doctor. They took what life dealt them. When they felt sad, they cried. They didn't feel the need to gossip or whine. Cinderella was vulnerable and authentic. And more than anything else, she believed. It was this belief that allowed her non-physical, feminine guardian to appear. Cinderella and Snow White were not weak and helpless. They transformed their reality. Cinderella, her namesake Cinder, which means ashes, symbolizes rebirth and transformation. Cinderella focused on what she wanted rather than her current reality. Cinderella saved herself by keeping a relentless positive attitude in the face of bullying and abuse at the hands of her evil stepmother and sister. But Cinderella and Snow White is also the story about abuse victims who are unable to get out of their toxic situation by themselves. And just when they begin to lose all hope, their Prince Charming and fairy godmother showed up to save them. It's the story about a girl who needs help getting to her happily ever after, and that's okay. There comes a point where you work, and you work, and you work, and there will still be people out there who will try to tear you apart, literally, until it seems there is no more hope, until it feels like you're too tired and hopeless to make it out on your own. And maybe you are. Maybe you are too tired to get out on your own. Maybe you're not the strongest woman in the world. Maybe you're not able to start that business all on your own. Maybe you can't raise your children all on your own. Maybe you're not able to get out of something on your own. Maybe you hit a low point and maybe you have no way out of it and you just want someone to save you because you're tired of fighting, tired of crying. You want to be loved. You want to be whisked away in a pumpkin carriage. You want a prince who will dance with you and spin you around to where your feet don't touch the floor. You're not alone. You don't have to do it all alone. It's okay to have a little help when you have nowhere else to turn. You are not weak because you need a helping hand. And in today's society, too many women are fearful of being perceived as dependent, helpless, and weak. I'm very disappointed in the remake of Snow White, not only because of the way Rachel Zegler has been behaving in the media, because why can't Snow White just be the princess who wants to be loved and is kind, not some warrior princess? Don't we have enough of those? Give us advocates. They deserve their happily ever after. Give us business owners. They deserve their happily ever after. Give us warriors. They deserve their happily ever after. Give us fighters. They deserve their happily ever after. Give us girls who are not advocates, girls who are not warriors, girls who are not fighters, girls who still deserve their happily ever after. Give yourself permission to do what feels good to you, whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you sigh in relief or makes you feel content. If that means being the girl boss lady on the block, go for it. And if that means living a joyful life that isn't about your career and you want to sit in your own little corner and dream about your Prince Charming, by all means, do it. And if you want to be both, that's also okay. And if you want to be neither, that's okay too. But please don't feel guilty for wanting what you want. Any way of being that lights you up is valid and valuable. But regardless of which path you choose, whether it's a girl boss or a hopeless romantic who just wants to be loved and to be saved by a prince, I want to leave you all with one final message from Cinderella's mom.
A great secret that will see you through all the trials that life can offer. You must always remember this. Have courage and be kind.
Have courage. As plain as it is, it's what you need to go through to get through the pain of life. Be kind. Keep on being a good person. Despite all of it, do not let the world make you bitter. Do not lose the innocence inside of your pure heart. Have courage and be kind. And lastly, don't be afraid to fall in love. Someday your prince will come. Let's just hope your home isn't infested with talking rats in order for that to happen.